God. Okay. Yeah, beef. Yeah, like I said, I went to I had to watch the rest of the game. I was watching the breakdown of the coverage. Um yeah, I was curious too with the way I saw Lamar Jackson going. Um and just by the way he kept answering, I was cramping and didn't really say anything else. Lamar, he usually acknowledges he's a little more talkative when he's excited. So it it may not have been just cramps. I'll say that. That was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. That was totally awesome. Um, yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that way too much. I enjoyed them busting the spread too on the safety. That was really funny. Mm, mm, mm. Whatever it was, he was running pretty fast when he jumped back out there, wasn't he? Yeah, so I did think that was really, really funny. Um, uh, so let me make sure I get my quick responses. Shut that down. Okay, okay. Paul Pearson house. Okay, people, if you have any questions, get your questions in now. Get the quick questions in before I get to the midnights with Marques Maybin stories. I don't really know which one I'm gonna get into. I had a couple thoughts, but any questions y'all give me? I think Lamar can throw. I know, Higgy. I hate getting sucked into that conversation all the time. The Lamar standards is ridiculous. Like people act like they don't have eyeballs. You can watch Hollywood Brown drop. Okay, Lamar throws a sharp pass to Hollywood Brown, right? He drops it. You can see the next pass. You can actually see how Lamar Jackson softens up his throws after somebody starts. Oh, goodness gracious, Austin. I cannot wait until Saturday. And it's a noon game, so we can get it on early. That is going to be perfect. That is perfect timing for that game. Perfect timing. I forgot to ask. Wait a minute. Beef. You no names. But I did. I went through the whole thing. I'm gonna put them all on the playlist. So the midnights with Marques Maybin and all the stories are on one playlist, so you can find them pretty easy. But I didn't use names, so try not to use names on some of them. And I said sometimes I don't know people's current situation. I don't want nobody getting a doghouse because I done said something about some past stuff or something. Mm, mm, mm. But okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, but the stories are always they're always true. So if anybody gets in trouble with my true stories, it's their fault. The truth is the truth. But yes, William, big trust for sure. Good win, man. Good win. And like Cleveland's good, man. Cleveland's good. Listen, Lamar's whole team season has just been off balance this whole year. So, it's good to see them out there fighting. And of course, he goes out the game, and I'm getting text messages about like people still trying to do the Madden curse thing. They just trying to force feed the Madden curse on this kid. But that was a good win, good come from behind win. I was really excited to see that. Yeah, Beef went through that story. What is there any stories? Is there any stories in a particular field that is there any stories in a particular field that y'all think I should go into? Which stories are the player stories the better ones? The coaching stories the better ones? The fun stories the good ones? The trouble stories the good ones? Which let me see. I hope the b-ball team still get the group. Yeah. They're on lockdown, and Mac is probably practicing them to death. Maybe waiting for the T-Web discussion tomorrow. We did a little bit of that. We did a little bit of the T-Web discussion on the 10 o'clock, the evening show, the 10 o'clock evening show. Steve jumped in. With the T-Web thing, it's one of those, like, we were basically getting it confirmed that you shouldn't be panicked about losing T-Web. You didn't lose T-Web to not being happy with the coach. Not being happy as far as him not being good enough to win the battle at all. So, the snake. Yeah, that was. I might reach out to Tony Stallings just to remind him how funny that was. Like I said, he never knew the truth. That I lost his snake either. Like, I never told him that. There's no way I could have told him that. I was just laughing about how mad he would have been, though. Yes. Look, Underwood. Listen, when I see that safety, it makes me okay, put it this way, people. Sometimes I can sound a lot more conspiratorial than I am, but when I see plays like that, I'm like, somebody has a sports almanac from Back to the Future, and they knew that was going to happen. There is no way just that play would have beat the spread like that. It's just, stuff doesn't happen like that, just so perfectly. But that was funny. 3-point cover. Yeah, it was maniacal. Sorry. Still hyped on Lamar. No, I get it. Like, it's hard to even tell stories because the highlights are like right on the other side of my shoulder. I have to make sure I turn it down a little bit, or I'll catch my eyes. Yeah, Jonathan, that maybe he had that with the cramps. I don't want to call Lamar just a liar. But I wouldn't call you a liar either. Put it that way. I don't want to call Lamar like it. We'll just say a combination. And maybe he just didn't want to talk about everything. Probably up in the football, the football thing. But this is when he was a baby. So probably just a dap up or something. Nah, I don't really know Lamar like that. The safety saved me. I bet I took that over in the Ravens in the spread. Yeah, I was watching Scott Van Pelt, and I could just tell by the sarcasm. Yeah, that's what. Look, I'm gonna just say he had that and the cramps. I'll just leave it there. Lamar story. Like I said, I don't want to call him a liar, but he did run like that was like he had a stomach issue. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, it's hard not to look at the replays, ain't it, y'all? Like that was good stuff. So do I have an NFL team? Yeah. Right now I'm Detroit. I'll probably, when he's not playing, I'll probably go back to the Titans. I don't know though. 4 years with Detroit, I'm probably stuck with Detroit. I'm probably stuck with Detroit. But I mean, like I say, it depends on his situation. After he's done, though, I'll probably go back to the Titans. That Cleveland water is a beast. Look, oh God, Johnny Manziel played. I mean, I said Johnny Manziel. But yeah, Baker Mayfield played pretty good. I shouldn't. That was Freudian. He did play good. He played some good football. That 2-point conversion was crazy. So, beef. Which wait. You said the snake story the other day. Okay, so y'all got to give me a genre. Y'all got to give me a genre for Midnight with Marques Maybin stories. Give me an area. Give me an area to focus on. I'm sure my brain will go to something silly. Big time game under the lights for sure. Yeah. Listen, William. And look, big game under the lights, and both quarterbacks should just get props for being pressure, players. I don't like when every time, they always move the sticks on what's considered a big time game or a pressure game. It's like these games have a whole bunch of pressure packed moments. They make a lot of good plays, and it's just like it irritates me when people say, "Oh, well, did you do this?" But you didn't do it. It's just hater stuff. Genre. I was gonna go into a coach one. One time I almost died when we were on the road. I literally almost died. One time I was gonna beat up a teammate on the road. But some people say you can't get it done. I know, William. I know. Jeff, I don't think you're being snarky with that one. Jeff, I know you don't mean that, but when you say tournament runs, oh my God, I didn't have tournament runs, and it is still too early. Any of my tournament stories won't be close to PG-13, so I can't do that. It's way too early in the evening for that. Do you have any good stories from Puerto Rico? I hate ruining it. Listen, I got millions of stories. Millions of stories. When you say Puerto Rico, I thought y'all no, Jeff, I took some evil losses. Some evil losses. Puerto Rico. Listen, Beef, it doesn't do any good for you to protect your content in 2020. It is. Listen, Beef, I had that problem too with the night shows. Like, I didn't want to do night shows because I felt like, or I didn't feel like, I knew everybody was just looking at my stuff and taking all my questions, and they were already like trying to disprove everything I say from taking my stuff tonight and using it for their, content the next day. But then I realized, my content is my content. It would be lazy of me to just sit around and try to protect my stuff and wait till the next day and not say anything on Twitter and do that stuff. So I do understand what you're saying, but it's like, yeah, dude, just like, time waits for no man, content waits for no man. You might as well start firing it out. Yeah, but I did have that problem, man. Like, I was just like, I just hated it because I would say something at night on Twitter, or do a video, and by the morning people just, I knew it was my stuff. I knew it was my research. I knew it was, but instead of thinking about what who was using it, I started focusing on the people who were enjoying it. Because, like, let's say 2 people take my content from the night, but 80 people enjoyed it from 10 o'clock at night before the morning, or 10 o'clock at night, 80 people enjoyed it, 2 people took it. The 80 people are what's important to me, not the 2 people that took it. And it just had to, I had to remind myself. Tell us about the days that downfalls. Like, you got to think I had two good years where going into the tournament we were picked across the board as a sleeper. You got to think what you call a downfall, what you call a failed season, is a 4 or 5 seed with Denny Crum, and we had the #1 schedule in the country every year. Our out of conference schedule was Illinois, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Purdue, North Carolina. Like that, those schedules were unheard of. So with that schedule, you could go 17 and 12, and people start saying you're trash. And it's like, we literally played out of conference all top, like 8 of the top 10 schools every year. So when that narrative it just comes from change. Whenever you change things, it gets kind of reinterpreted that way. How about those crowd members? Yeah, right. I did see that. Cold weather. Yeah, Billy, like, you got to get numb to that, because humans are still humans. Tell us about what did he do during the game that made you question? I will say this to answer your question on that one. One time it just drove me nuts. It was because there was during the game, there was a fan that kept on yelling, "Put Marques in the game, put Marques in the game," right? And I heard him, and Coach heard him, and you could just hear the dude. He was just like obnoxious with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was happy he was saying it. Whatever. So Coach ended up putting me in the game, not because of the fan, but I just ended up going back in the game, and did a couple things. And then I messed something up. It wasn't like a bad mess up. It was, it was just like a little screw up. And I heard Coach turn around, say something like, "That's why he's not in the game," or something like that. And I'm like, is he really arguing with a fan about putting me in the game? You know what I'm saying? I heard him say that, and I was just like, oh. So yeah, that one, Lamar Jackson, Superman on football field. Yeah, he looked good, man. I was pumped about that. Georgia Tech was the first game ever in Freedom Hall. See there. How good was Tony Williams? I'll say this, man. The thing with Tony Williams is, and I hate saying this out loud, but everybody knows is the truth. I'm just hitting this question in particular. Actually, let me find it so I can light it up. Yeah, Georgia Tech was nice. My second game, I think my second game of my career was against Georgia Tech and Matt Harpering and them. They could ball. The thing about Tony, when somebody asks me in particular, I say, if you put Tony on, I want to think of a good team. Tony Williams is a 6'8.5" shooter, and long arms, and high IQ, right? Like, if you would have put Tony on, let's say, St. Louis, and put Nate somewhere else, and put me somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we gelled good, we had it rolling. But we were all just kind of like real alpha with our game. So it was like, we all we're kind of like maybe overly competitive with each other, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the kind of teams that I try to describe it as, it's real jagged, right? But you need the kind of attitude that Tony had, that Nate had, that I got, that a Cam or Reese had. Like, the attitudes are all like, you know what it's like? It's like having football teams with some dudes that are kind of like, that push the boundaries all the time, right on the edge, and you like it right until somebody throws the shoe and you lose the game. But you get those guys, and if you get the perfect like lock-in fit, you're gonna win a championship. So the talent level on those teams. Like, I've been around a whole bunch of basketball, a whole bunch of talented people. Like Tony, like I said, all of us. If we're at a UAB or a UNCG, like, Tony's the lead. If Tony's on UAB he's the leading scorer on his team, probably without question. You know what I'm saying? Either one or two, you know, much more of a go-to. We were just always trying to find our niche with each other. So Tony could play. Tony could, and Tony was so long and lanky. It was always funny. I made a joke. Troy Jackson would always catch people trying to cross him over. Whenever Troy Jackson got switched on a guard would always try to cross him over, try to make him look silly. Troy Jackson and Tony Williams had the best crossover defense out of anybody. I don't know how Tony could make himself settle in and not go for a crossover, but Tony started, like, when Tony got switched on somebody and we saw him kind of like clear out and back up, we were like, look, I would do this. If say, like, I'm guarding my man over here on the wing, I'm guarding my guy. Tony gets switched on a point guard. We're on defense, right? Point guard's in the middle at the top of the key. I wouldn't even, like, my man, he could start leaking away, and I would just be eyeballing Tony because I know Tony's about to look. That guy's gonna try to cross Tony over. Tony's gonna either tip it or pick it off, and I'm gonna be running that way. So I'm gonna be at the front, and I'm gonna force him to have to throw me the ball. So if Tony gets the steal, I'm already like ahead of him because I know the steal is coming. You know what I'm saying? So Tony will get the steal and he's dribbling, like getting ready to go, get up the court. But he looks up and he can see I'm ahead. So he got to give it up. You know what I'm saying? But I could always like see the shock on his face. Like, damn, how you get out there so fast? So yeah, that was always funny with Tony. But yeah, Tony had game. Yeah, Rip Troy for sure. Yeah, Tony. Like I said, Tony could fill it up. Yeah, like I said, and when you're running the high post offense, here's the thing. Okay, everybody knows I love the high post, right? But sometimes you end up forcing a shot because you don't know when you're gonna get another like opportunity like this. So with some like when teams that run a lot of motion, like you can run the motion and like okay, when I get the ball right here, I know a good look is coming here. I know a good look is coming here. You just run the motion till whoever gets the best look. But sometimes when you run a little more structured offenses, it's kind of like they're running this play. This might be the only shot you get at getting a shot up. So, we got a midnight Mark. Yeah, listen, we had to get a midnight in. Like I wasn't gonna let that go. Was there ever a player who talked major trash to you? Trash talkers. Oh, I know who talked a lot. God, I want to say I played with a whole bunch of gentlemen, man. Like other than the dude who said he was gonna shoot me, I didn't really encounter too much. Like we all yelled for our accomplishments and stuff like that, but I didn't really get into a lot of hardcore trash talking sessions. Hold on. Did you ever dorm room never go? I think everybody did. Beef. I think everybody did. I would take BJ Flynn for sure. Underwood. That's not even a question. BJ Flynn without question. 100%. 100%. That's not even a good debate. Okay. Dorm room. So okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a short story. I don't want you to make any assumptions out of this, but I just want you to imagine. Okay, dorm rooms. Let's say 1998-ish dorm rooms. Stevenson Hall. The game at the time was Mortal Kombat. That was the year before the bond. I think my junior or senior year, it was we were doing GoldenEye all night. But I think the year before that we were doing. See, I didn't play the basketball video games that much, but I did play the Mortal Kombat in the dorms with everybody, right? And I had a real nasty Mortal Kombat game, right? So 98-ish, 99, was a quiet dude? No, Sean. No, he wasn't quiet. Oh my, Golden, Golden. I know what you. My cousin lived at 4th and we used to sneak in the Crawford gym, play ball and swim. Yeah, that was awesome. The Crawford gym pool. That was not. My early years, the pool parties at Crawford gym. That was good stuff. So y'all, this is what used to happen. 98-ish, like I said, window 98, 99. I was real nasty in the dorms with Mortal Kombat, right? There was probably a window where I was the best in the entire dorm, you know what I'm saying? And my character, I used to use Smoke. Now, if I don't know how familiar y'all are with Mortal Kombat or whatever, but I like Mortal Kombat is a lot more developed now, right? But he had this move where he could just drop down off the screen, and he would come up under you, and he would be punching you. So he punched you up in the air, and when he punched you up in the air, I was good at just either uppercutting and dropping under. So wherever you land, I'm uppercutting again. So once they started the combination rules and stuff, like I had a nasty drop under the floor, punch up Smoke move, right? So on which console? That had to be I don't know which console that was. I don't know. I would let me think on that one for a second. But so I used to use this character Smoke, and like I said, I guess you would call it a glitch now, but there was a word for a glitch back then. I just thought I was just the quickest and I was just smooth with it, right? So every time somebody would come in my dorm room and try to play me, I could tell they done trained or tried to, they started trying to get their block defense game going, and I had moves. I had moves and counters, right? But in the dorms, I would turn up the volume real loud. So after every time I won a game, you know how it would be like Smoke wins, right? So every time I won, and they were like, Smoke wins, I would go. And I would hold my finger up in the dorm. So I got used to doing that. I'm telling you, man, everybody would talk about it. They like, dude, man, I ain't gonna play you if you're gonna be doing that Smoke sign. But my number one celebration during the Mortal Kombat era was Smoke wins. I think it might have been 64, but yeah, but that was my touchdown celebration. If I played football, that probably would have been my celebration. I probably would have gotten in trouble for that, for just making that gesture. But I always thought it was hilarious. It was to me, at least. Enzo, signing day eve. If this Prince Coley thing works out, and we get our guys, if we get our guys to the finish line that we already got. Yeah, was it Mortal Kombat? It probably was. It was probably like the third one, because they started, you know how they start bringing in more bad guys and bringing in, more people. If the Prince Coley thing works out, I'll be really excited. You get Ben Perry, Prince Coley, and then you start just banging Jared Williams, and you start just banging that grad transfer market. Like, we could, we can, what up, baby? James, get in here. Not surprised. MTL Edis, Toasty. That's funny. Hold on. Yeah, Cyrax is good too. He trap you in that green net. It was probably Genesis. I think I did that because wasn't that the one Genesis had was the first one with the Sonic was the first one with Sonic, right? Yeah, that was Sega Genesis. So yeah, it was probably Sega Genesis. Um if you hold on. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Mark Irwin, I'm just getting back up to your comment. Sorry about that. Um Sean, you said, Nate wasn't quiet. Nate was not quiet. I mean, but, maybe just outside, outside of the bubble, outside of the bubble of Wisconsin Saturday MTL. I'm really, really pumped about that. Yeah, y'all can feel free. Again, you can give me a genre. I could tell a story. I'm trying to think of anyone. Yeah. Again, player story, road trip story. Um, mm, um, yeah, y'all got to tell me which direction you want to go because I can think of a ton. Beef is good about it. Um, give me a question. Oh yeah, so pumped for the Wisconsin. Yeah. I'm super excited about that one. Um, yeah, that's a good one. So I got one. I got one that popped in my head just because. Unless favorite road arenas to play in. Favorite and least favorite road arenas to play in. Oh, oh. It was fun playing at the United Center. Eric Johnson had a crazy vertical. Do you have any Eric? Billy, I kind of do have a Eric Johnson jumping story, but it's not the kind that you want to have, but Eric Johnson jumping story. I will tell you, it is a short story. Eric Johnson. Okay, Eric Johnson got y'all remember Eric Johnson had it rolling for a while, like where he was like number 5 in the nation in 3-pointers or something when he really got it rolling, right? Now, Eric Johnson got in Coach Crumb's doghouse in practice one day, right? Have you been throwing out? Listen, I've been throwing out all. Listen, I'll give you a Cameron Murray story. I got tons of them. So yeah, any of them are good. You just mentioned what genre you wanted. Eric Johnson, doghouse, probably a turning moment with Eric. Okay, Eric was a 2-foot jumper, big time 2-foot jumper, right? Right side, left side. He was a power jumper, right? So one day we're in practice, right? And we're just doing like regular, like warm, in the middle of, getting some layups in or something, right? And keep in mind, Eric is like a senior. He's like a senior, I'm thinking. Or, even a medical register, like Eric's grown, right? So one day we're in practice and all of a sudden, coach gets mad at Eric and says, shoot a left-hand layup, right? Because Eric was coming from the left-hand side. Probably looks like right-hand side to y'all. But Eric comes from the left-hand side and he jumps off 2 feet and he lays it up left hand, right? And then coach is like, stop. He's like, stop. And he was like, go back in line and shoot a left-hand layup. Keep in mind, this is Eric Johnson, who's been doing it his way for his entire career at Louisville. And I'm pretty sure he's a senior. So Eric does it again. and he jumps off 2 feet or something, and kind of does a 2-hand layup. So, okay, now everybody knows what coach is getting at, but Nate and Alex, like they get relentless, man. When put it this way, when coach gets mad at you, they don't do you no favors, because they jump in and they'll hype it up. They'll be like, coach, get him to do it again, get him. And coach, coach might be half joking and then half serious, and then coach says, like Nate'll hype coach up to make Eric do it again or something, and I'm just like throwing it out, right? So that was the day we found out. I mean, I guess we already knew it, but that was the day coach just decided he wasn't gonna let Eric get through layup line until he did where you jump off your right foot, right leg, and left hand layup, right? Like Eric just couldn't do that. So when Eric tried it, I mean, he could, but you could tell it was very unnatural. So when Eric did it, of course, they just laughing like it was just terrible. And I'm watching Eric get in trouble. But at the same time, I feel Coach Crum like you should be able to do the left hand just layup. And he kind of did the awkward left hand layup. So that was the day Eric Johnson got in the biggest like doghouse that I ever seen in my life. Like, and then it's just like anytime he did something else, anytime he did anything on the left hand side, if we were having a good day, I mean, it wasn't like slanderous, but if you're having a good day, you're gonna make fun of Eric on the left hand side. You know what I'm saying? Shooting the layups. But yeah, that was the awkward Eric Johnson jumping story that we had. Watch Eric Johnson develop from pure athlete into a great shooter. Yeah, yes. That's what. Yeah, everybody was so happy for Eric when he got his shot rolling. One thing I did like back in the day when he plays, you don't mind that because you signed up for that, James. And this is what they tell you in recruiting. This is what they tell you. This is the pitch they use. When you, as a recruit, when you say, damn, y'all got y'all names on y'all jerseys, you know what I'm saying? When you say that to the coach, I mean, you don't say it like that, but you ask about it. And they will tell you that's what the difference is between Louisville and other programs you go to. He said, you don't need your names on your jerseys because in Louisville, everybody already knows who you are. They know you. They know your number. They know what you do. So when you kind of hear that, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you think somebody don't like? And this part is just hypothetical. Like if Scooter McCrae's talking to me, he would say, you think everybody doesn't know that DeJuan Wheat is 32 and Alvin Sims is number 5? And you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, here, everybody knows that already. So you don't need your names on your jersey. So when you kind of hear that as a recruit, you like, yeah, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. So yeah. So that's how they turned that recruiting kind of into an advantage. You know what I'm saying? That people pay more attention to your number when they don't see your name. They have to learn who you are. And they would always make this joke. If somebody needs a name to know you, they're not like a real Louisville fan and they'll get ran out of the city. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those were kind of like the things they said. So it didn't really bother anybody that like really the only people who wanted the names on the jerseys are people who didn't play a lot. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of like, so people would know, who they are. Jeff, I'm catching it. That's funny. Yeah. We upset UK. Yeah. The Monster Game. Yeah. Jeff, Eric went off on UK. But look, I don't know if you were here the other day, Jeff, but I was kind of telling that story. Like I didn't play that good that game, but that was the game where they had me on the front of the cover with the shishin thing. So a lot of people think I was the one that went crazy because years and years go by and I had that cover the picture. So it was like, I kind of got credit for some stuff Eric did or some other people did that night just because of the coverage I got for being on that on the cover of the papers. Compare Aiden Gahan to somebody I played with. That's a tough question. That's a tough question. Oh, you know who I almost said? You know who I almost said? Tobiah Hopper. Tobiah Hopper. Almost. Tobias, he got street game though. I would say, but athletically, Tobiah Hopper was like different. You know what I'm saying? He was just different. He was different strength. When he goes vertical with that Aiden kind of explosion. Remember, Tobiah Hopper had a nice shot. Aiden, listen, when Aiden stepped in there, knocked down that free throw, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just kind of his verticalness and athleticism. I could tell Tobiah, you know, like I said, Tobiah didn't have a lot of the he didn't have the AAU circuit organized game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the best comparison I can make. Tobiah Hopper. And you remember Tobiah Hopper didn't play. Then all of a sudden, he got in. He wasn't scared to shoot. He got in, hit some buckets, just wasn't scared. But Tobiah is one of them guys you just kind of can throw out there and just leave him alone. Like, you don't want to put Tobiah in a bunch of structure. Just shut up, leave him alone, let him do his thing. Make sure he don't run in the way of anybody. Like, sometimes you don't even want him screening because you don't want to get, you don't want to get him caught up in the other stuff. You just want to let him go play. So you'll realize a lot of the best runs from that year are when Tobiah Hopper's in the game. A lot of the big time runs, just because that's what he did. You know, so a lot of the pull away runs was from Tobiah, who didn't start. You giving out jersey numbers to players rather than knowing them. Yeah, like you got to know your player. Like, again, when there's no names and y'all having conversations and you go, oh, the one guy, the tall guy, he's number 3, he's real light skinned. Like, people don't even listen to you. In Louisville, if it's like I said, if you know it's Tony Williams and somebody's just saying, oh, you know that one guy, he looks like this, and if you start describing the way somebody looks, nobody listens to you talking sports, because that means you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know your players. Shut up. Go elsewhere. So yeah, that's fun. What player? Carleek for sure. Carleek for sure. Just because we only have one Carleek, but we have a couple people that can do the Dre position. But they're both crucial. But Carleek is definitely much more crucial. You gonna say so Beef. This is a teammate story. So we're going to Hawaii. And here's the thing. We're going to Hawaii Thanksgiving. We're going to Honolulu and Maui. This is going to be the same trip. Most trips are like a week. Like, I think we did like 11 days because we flew to like Oahu, spent like 3 days there, and then we went to another island. So here's the thing. I don't know how Coach Crumb got away with this, but maybe Louisville just having a good budget. So we're in Hawaii, on the island, and then we fly to the other island for the Maui, for the, or whatever, for, whatever, invitational tournament that was. So this is what happened. Before we left, my, one of my peoples, they Western Union me a couple extra dollars, just go have some fun. Well, why you go? No, because I told him I was getting ready to go to Hawaii when he called me, And he was like, you got any money in your pocket? I was like, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'll shoot you a couple dollars. So I went to Western Union. Look, I was expecting about $20, $30, just something that, put a couple dollars in my pocket, right? He took care of me, right? So we're in Hawaii, right? I don't know if we had already changed islands yet, so I would have to really like think about that and do the Great Hawaiian Shootout, whatever it was. So we're in Hawaii, and I think this is the second one. We're at the bigger island, right? So when we hit the big island, we got like study hall, lunch, dinner. For like 2 days, it was like, y'all do what y'all want. So we got 2 days in Maui. We got 2 days to kill. So, I think we had early practice too. But again, we're still talking about, 2-hour practice. Let's say you got 2-hour practice from 8 to 10, and then you got a study hall from 10:30 to 12, and dinner is at 5 or 6. Let's just say 6 or something. Lunch is during study hall, and dinner's at 6 or 7. Whatever it was. You got a lot of, like, to a college kid, that's a ton of time. And we ain't got no like restrictions or nobody with us. So you let us in Hawaii have 5 hours to blow. My people's just sent me a couple dollars, right? So now, like, imagine us all walking out the hotel kind of simultaneously, right? We looking up and down the street. It's people, it's one of them strips, you know what I'm saying? It's hot, the weather's beautiful. Like, it's people everywhere. We don't know. Look, right across from the hotel, it's just nothing but beach and ocean and all that good stuff. It's Hawaii resort life, right? So I look left, I look right. I see it's kind of an alley. It's kind of a little alleyway. So we kind of like start walking one way down the street. Walk down the street, kind of look around the corner. We see scooter rentals, moped, scooter rentals, right? Kind of looked at it, and I saw the prices. Like, let's just say, I don't know what it was. Let's just say it was like $15 an hour or something, $15, $20 an hour or something, right? So I saw that, and I was like, I think Rashad was right beside me, Rashad Brooks. I think I tapped him and was like, "Hey man, let's go get 2 scooters and ride around the island." And Rashad, Greek freak. Rashad was like, he was like, "I'm broke," you know what I'm saying? He's like, "I ain't got no money to be, buying no scooter or whatever." So I was like, I got you or whatever. So I don't know who else was standing at ear distance, but they was like, "You gonna give me 2?" You know what I'm saying? And here's, like I said, I just got a couple of dollars from my peoples. So I ended up renting scooters for everybody. So I rented scooters for everybody. So that just like emptied my little couple of dollars that my people gave me. But how can you rent a scooter for anybody and not let and we weren't going to be able to leave people back at the hotel while we was riding around this whole island getting scooters. So rented a bunch of scooters, right? So we running around the island. Listen, these basketball fools are riding around this island like we own the island. Like, you would think we was DMX and Rough Riders on these little scooters that don't go 25 miles an hour. But we was riding them like we was not DMX, Meek Mill and his crew on these little engine mopeds and Honda Sprees or whatever. So anyway, we riding around the island. We hitting malls, and we ride by the university. We seeing we trying to like find some girls and all kind of stuff. But the problem was with the girls, it's Hawaii, right? And no disrespect to my Hawaiian family, but the Hawaiian girls kind of were Samoan-ish, right? So just the build was like, dang, they swole over here, you know what I'm saying? Like swole like thick, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really fun with the looking around where where the party at kind of stuff, because the local party scene is not great in Hawaii. Now, because people like the party scene in Hawaii is like, you got to bring a girl there, like you got to bring your friends there. You don't go there to find something to get into. Like, it just don't work like that. Hawaii, look, if you think you're gonna go there and have some fun, it's not it's not a guy's trip place at all. It's actually the last place a group of guys should be going is Hawaii. So here's the thing. Let me put it off the screen. So we on these scooters, blah, blah, blah. What happens eventually? Somebody wrecks the scooter, right? What they don't tell you is the deposit, like, I don't know if it's a safety deposit, but it's one of those things like, if you wreck our scooter, it's like a $300, fee or something like that. And dude, teammate wrecks the scooter. I don't even know the policy about wrecking the scooter, because when I rented it, I didn't even really go that deep into it, because it looked like just looked like a dude that just owned a bunch of scooters and was just renting them out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like probably photocopied our ID or something. But when we had to take those scooters back, and he's talking about $300 because he wrecked the scooter, and he didn't wreck the scooter bad, but it was one of them things like, as soon as he wrecked the scooter, I'm like, my name's on it. Coach, look, you out here acting up. Coach is gonna hold me accountable for everybody who went riding on these scooters. So I was just like we away from the coach, and I'm really like ready to just like, I'm gonna stomp you right now before we get back to the scooter place at the hotel, because I'm gonna get in trouble for renting these scooters. But we had a really, really good blast. I didn't end up doing anything. I ended up telling the dude, look, man, I'm not paying $300 for that scratch that's on the scooter. It don't cost $300, blah, blah. So I think I had to pay like an extra $50 or something like that. So it wasn't brutal. I did have to give up some extra money. It sucked. But yeah, and I remember one of the funniest parts about the scooter ride is we were riding up this hill, went up this big hill, and then we went through this tunnel, right? And it was almost like a military base kind of gate, but the gate was open. Or it might not have been open, it might have been like partially down, right? So we on these college game only. Would you take Donovan or Carleek at the point? College game only. I would probably take Carleek in the college game, because the college game is a little too crowded for Donovan. Donovan excels because there's freedom of movement in the NBA. He's strong, and just his one-on-one, you can when you're able to isolate Donovan, he's a problem. Okay, so we go through this tunnel. It got this little military gate. You can tell like it's kind of like we shouldn't be going in, but it's kind of open to some people who got business going in there. So we go through this tunnel, right? Everybody kind of like scooter in the tunnel, right? So we're inside, there's a couple buildings, but we don't really know, like, we come through the other side of the tunnel, right? So we get down to like in this tunnel, or we get, on the other side of the tunnel. So Rashad looks up, and this is literally what he said, y'all. he looks up and he said, this is what he said to me. He looked up, he started looking around, and he was like, man, you see how these he said, man, these mountains are in a circle, man. I ain't never seen that. Right? And he was just looking around. He's like, the mountains go in a circle. I said, Rashad, we are inside of a volcano. This is what this whole island is. Those aren't mountains. We are inside of a volcano. This has been here for years and years and thousands of years. That's what this whole island is, volcanoes. No, he didn't pay me back, beef. But what was I gonna do? Like, just Debo, just give him money back, punk. You know what I'm saying? No, I never got paid back for that. But yeah, I remember Rashad, thinking about how Rashad didn't realize we were inside of a volcano. And it was just like it was weird. It's funny because, you know, Rashad Brooks, Baltimore City dude, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like and maybe it was different because I had just traveled so much. I just kind of, I knew, you know, kind of what the deal was. But it was really cool, though, to be inside of a volcano and just see, you know, see how like big it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it literally looks like a mountain range that just goes in a big circle. So yeah, that was awesome. No way, teammate didn't pay me back at all. But yeah, the volcano realization moment was really, really funny. Rashad, but I listen, I thought about that and I wanted to make fun of him like forever. Just because I could see how you say, is that the trip where y'all wore? No, James. The trip we wore up, that was Puerto Rico. That was Puerto Rico. I think it was Jonathan. I don't want to pin this one on him, but somebody only brought the dark. And I think the other ones, like, I think we had like the blood shorts or something, like the blood replacement shorts. So we only had like 5 pairs of them or something. They had to go back to the hotel room and get it. Boy, that video looks real bad, man. The video of when we had to wear like, you know, when we had the same color jersey at first, and then we had to wear white shorts with the red tops or whatever it was. White tops with the red shorts is pathetic. No, Don Russell just did the games. I think I got invited to do like a post game radio show, maybe once or twice with him, but I didn't really get to interact too often with Mr. Russell. But I did listen. I used to set my VCR timer to record it, and then it used to come on. The local replay used to come on at like 11 o'clock at night. So if we had a game locally, I would make sure I was by myself to watch the replay of the game, because I always wanted to hear what, you know, you always want to hear what the commentators are saying. Like, game film sucks because you don't get no commentary in it. And when you watch a game film with the team and, you know, you get some nice plays, you want to know if you get your props and stuff. So yeah, I had to make sure I always recorded the games on TV just to know what was going on. Who was the player? This type of who was the player that was hyped up that you guys played with that you thought was overrated? That I played with or against? With or against? The old Billy, the old delayed podcast. Listen, Don Russell, I couldn't wait to hear them talk about the games when I got home and watched the broadcast. The worst argument me and Steve ever gotten in, I don't know. I would have to think about that. And if it was an argument, it was just one way. Either Steve was, you know, either I was mad about something Steve doing or something, but it wouldn't be a back and forth. Like, it would just be, dude, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be pissy, or he would be, you know, like that. Yeah, but we don't really like do back and forth. Oh, against. Oh, Mateen Cleaves. 100%. Mateen Cleaves. I hate it. Listen, I've seen what he's been through. I don't pass any judgment on his story. This is just strictly basketball and his skill level. And he was the worst hyped up player in all of college basketball. When that year, when they had the Flintstone thing going on, and the sad part about it is, when we went up and played them, if our team hadn't been, look, I might save the details of this one for another Midnight with Marques Maybin story. But I've told it on the radio, but I want to tell the details on here one of the days near soon. We played Michigan State in East Lansing. We end up getting snowed in all crazy. But here's the problem. We played them on like January 2nd or something like that. I don't know if it was January 2nd or January 3rd. I'm pretty sure it was the 2nd, right? We wasn't recovered from New Year's. Yeah, it had to be the 2nd. I think we played them like the morning of January 2nd or something. And I remember the team not being recovered. My roommate had to leave the sideline or had to put a trash can at the end of the bench by him because he wasn't recovered. But the problem was, by the time we realized they weren't that good, they might have had a 10-point lead on us late, and then we had about 7, 8, 10 minutes to go. And we kind of were like looking at each other like, these dudes ain't that good. Like we should just go ahead and bust them. And they hung on. But yeah, Mateen Cleaves, he was garbage. And he had like Magic Johnson vouching for him. And I'm like, listen, those other dudes, the Charlie Bells and the left-hand dude, I can't think of his name, like Mo Peterson and them kind of dudes, like those dudes could play. And Tom Izzo had a great system. But Mateen Cleaves, you got to think, he had all that squad around him, right? And he would just come off this high, ball screen. And the problem is he would just have to score like 7 points a game. And then those 7, Magic Johnson, those guys would act like his 7 was like the leadership, most important 7 points. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. Like Mateen Cleaves, his dad was like the AAU coach of all those dudes that got him to Michigan State. So Mateen Cleaves had been playing with those dudes, and his dad was the coach. Like, so when you hear that, like, don't you say, "Oh God, of course he's the point guard of the Flintstones." But yeah, like just game wise, they that Magic love just was amazing for him. But it got on my nerves. Yeah, Mo Peterson. Yeah. Forte. Yeah, it was. Yeah, those kind of dudes. Forte. He's all right. He got a lot of hype though too. That's a good name though. That's a good name who would go in that category of. I don't know if you like that. They loved Brian Wardle, man. They loved him in the conference. But here's the problem. Here's why I stopped picking on Brian Wardle. Because in a couple of here, you know what? This was my problem with Brian Wardle. I don't know if y'all remember. Some people might remember, but in my freshman year, okay, Wardle was a good freshman. In my freshman year, I tore my meniscus and had a partial tear in my ACL. my freshman year, I had to wear one, I tore it in maybe, I think I might have tore it in the Marquette game, the first Marquette game. Going for a rebound, I got hit in the head. And I kind of blacked out, right? But it was one of those things like you get hit, you kind of get knocked out. You was kind of knocked out, but I like, by the time I was getting up off the ground, I knew where I was. So the trainers and them came over there, and they were like, you okay? I'm kind of just sitting on the ground. They're like, you okay? Blah blah blah, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. It was like, do you know what date it is, right? I was like, man, I wouldn't know the date anyway. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I was like, I don't really pay attention to the dates, right? And I listen, keep in mind, this is back in my day. That's all that response right there is enough to get you back on the court, right? So, I might have went to the sideline, timeout, whatever, kind of walking. I felt a little ginger or whatever, right? So in the game, I'm kind of like, I can tell something's wrong with my knee, my left knee. So coach calls a play that's called down. I just, I do my little guard cut. They come down there, set a pick for me, and I come up and just hit this little turnaround jumper. So they call that play for me, and I can tell I'm a little ginger. And I run down and I do the little cut, and I can just hear the cartilage just kind of, what I'm saying? I can not hear it, but I can just feel it and kind of feel the vibration of something just, kind of crunchy, right? So I come back up, I turn around, I hit the shot, but I know something ain't right with my knee. You know what I'm saying? Now I know something's up. So I end up coming out the game, right? I don't even remember if we won or lost, right? We may have came back and won, but I don't remember. Because I was out that game. So anyway, we end up, after the game, put some ice on it. Let's see what's going on. We'll look at it tomorrow, right? Next day I woke up. That thing was fat. You know what I'm saying? I never seen my knee look like that. It was all swollen. I called Johnny. I'm like, hey man, tell them I need to see a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Something's up. So they end up getting one of those just a soccer mom vans or something, and I'm sitting in the back because I can't really like bend my knee, so I'm sitting in the back of the van. We go to the training room, and I remember the one. Okay, I'm kind of walking. Maybe it's loosened up because we got to walk down a real long hallway. Like I said, it's swollen. I still don't know what's wrong with it, right? So they're telling me to like lift my knee and do this and do that, right? And I'm doing this stuff, and they're kind of, I'm kind of getting a little relieved. So they tell me to stand on one leg, the hurt leg. They tell me to put my arms out to the side, and they tell me to just rock back and forth like this. I do that. As soon as I go this way, I just like collapse. You know what I'm saying? I could just like my knee just like right there is when I knew just I was down, right? And they were like, yep, you know what I'm saying? He's all in. So then I go MRI and all that good stuff. And they, that's when they start talking about. But here's the thing. Coach Crum made a joke after we found out what was wrong, right? Coach Crum made a little joke, and it was something like I guess he already knew it wasn't like a year thing. They probably told him, 6 weeks or something, right? And he was like, well, it was a fun year for you. Like he was trying to get me to relax, and he said something like that. And I remember I just kind of started like, I kind of giggled, but I kind of started tearing up, you know what I'm saying? And then, because I thought, and plus, when they hear ACL and when you hear partial tear, you know what I'm saying? They don't tell you if it's like you need surgery, partial tear. They just say, ACL, meniscus, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was ACL, meniscus. I thought I'm out for the year or whatever. Man, I was back playing in about in about 12 days or something like that. but the whole story, I went down this whole story to come back to, I remember coming back one of those earlier games when I had this brace on, and I really wasn't as stable as, I really wasn't, comfortable or whatever. And I mean, I'm comfortable, like me saying I'm comfortable. Like, it wasn't the coach was trying to get me back or nothing. I was trying to, play. And I remember they isolated me on a backdoor cut with water, like they needed a bucket. And they got me running, so I would have to plant on that knee for a backdoor cut. And I remember, I was running out playing defense or whatever. And when they ran that backdoor cut, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to like go back on my knee. So when they cut, I just kind of like let them go, you know what I'm saying? Because I just knew I couldn't plant. And so when they got that bucket, everybody was like, yeah, look, commentators and coaches and everybody, they just went crazy on me, just like, oh my God, like that was the best backdoor cut in history. And I'm just like, I didn't feel like whining and saying, y'all see this big old brace on my knee? Like, I can't cut, I can't do it, I can't stop and go like that. Like, that's a wrap. So I was kind of salty that he was getting all those props for that big backdoor cut he got on me. But it was like, that was a good play call. So yeah, I didn't think he was awesome, but they loved him. He's a really smart player, high IQ, good rebounder. So yeah, so I didn't think he was that tough, but I respected his game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hated him in Team Cleaves too. So it's like, yeah, Guevara had game. Yeah, the blow the kiss to the girlfriends. Actually, no, I'll say this. Guevara is the point I make when I say, if Tony Williams is on that team, he's one of the go-to guys. He's probably one running pick and rolls, and him and Guevara are like monsters together. So I think he just got to shoot. He got stupid freedom. Because you got to think, all we remember is him blowing the kisses and all that. But, he would miss 5 shots, and they would just be like, oh, he's getting warmed up, or he's almost there. And I'm like, 5 shots under Coach Crum. If you miss 5 3-pointers under Coach Crum from long distance, you might not play for 3 weeks. Like, he's not going for that. So dude got about 5 or 6 shots just to start getting his rhythm going. So I was always jealous of that. So I didn't know how tough he really was. So confidence is a big time thing when the coaches don't complain about the shots you take. I think that's what Mac is really good about, getting the guys to take their shots and don't hesitate. We're, a lot of times we're surprised that guys who we don't think are shooters end up being better shooters under Mac just because he lets them go. Athletes in action. Do you realize people started taking athletes in action off of their schedules because athletes in action started getting real dudes. Like at first, athletes in action was just kind of a group to kind of athletes in action was just kind of like a group they put together to kind of like carry their message and get somebody some tune-ups. But they started actually it wasn't athletes in action. I think it was another group like that though. You got to think who was okay. Y'all won't remember this name. They had like I think his name was Sherman Douglas, a guy who won a championship with Syracuse. It was either Sherman Douglas or maybe it was Sherman Douglas one year or Ramil Robinson one year for Michigan. Athletes in Action brought in grown men college championship running point guards. So Athletes in Action is the equivalent to putting Shane Bohannon and Russ Smith. When you about to play them, and let's say you don't know your hit, like if you're not from Louisville, you don't know your history or whatever. This guy won a championship about 8 years ago. If you put Shane Bohannon and Russ Smith on a team and called them Athletes in Action, and they played an exhibition against our current Louisville Cardinals, who do you think would win? Shane Bohannon, Russ Smith, Nate Johnson, Russ Smith, Shane Bohannon, and somebody like who can I think of that would be funny? Honest. Like Honest, you think about Honest stats wasn't that good, but he was a dude. You put championship winning Russ Smith and Shane Bohannon on a team, they will work some college kids. So yeah, they started telling those Athletes in Action, like, come on, y'all, like y'all rosters are got some dudes that can play some basketball. Yeah, it was either Ramil Roberts from Michigan or Sherman Douglas from Syracuse. Like, but seeing those dudes, like those were guys I knew their names, being a big time college basketball guy. But it was like those dudes they're good. Like just because they're overseas 4, 5, 6 years don't mean they ain't cold. That would be unfair. Athletes in Action. No, they listen, but you hope you get to see Cameron's World Series ring on the site. I'm related. What do you think about the Strohs thing in general? Well, he joined them late, so he wasn't in the loop like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how much he knew or whatever, but it was like one of those things. He was a late trade thing. And he was there just to steal bases anyway. So it wasn't like they really just wanted him to get to first base, steal second, and create a run. Like Teddy Dupay, like this dude's got game. You can't be putting those guys on. You can't put them guys out here against my freshman 2 guard. This dude's been playing overseas getting. They playing adult men type game. Yeah, Athletes Action. Yeah, they, like I said, they had some teams. I remember when Alex went Globetrotters. Patino would have loved Rivera. Keep shooting the 3. Some years, but he let him truck some. He let them truck some. Cam Murray. Actually, Cam Murray just posted something on Facebook that kind of surprised me. Cam don't post his stuff a lot, but he did just post something out. Mark. You get a big Yugoslavian 6'10" dude. He's gonna be a problem for, like I said, for a young team. Young team, young big men. Yeah, veteran it's just hard to deal with. They really hard to deal with. So yeah, some of those games, like I know there's jokes to them, but didn't Alex play with Wayne? I don't remember if Wayne was on there with Alex. But I think Alex was like I think Alex Sanders was on route to be like one of the good ones. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem to stick with it. As long as Well, he was with him for a while, but he was like starting to be one of the featured guys. We ate at hotels. We didn't eat at Memphis, James, Memphis. There was this Memphis had a cook. They just took real good care of us. And Nate Johnson used to call them Whispers, right? Like Whispers from Hoodlum. But yeah, this cook used to like do it up. One time they took us out to eat, like fall off the bone ribs in Memphis. Memphis, they used to have like real good twice baked potatoes too. Memphis is the best food. Consider they play the dumpiest program, worst arena, fan base. Like I said, Tulane wasn't great. Tulane was bad. Cincinnati's visitor locker room was terrible. I think I said it the other day. Cincinnati had a terrible visitors locker room. I remember when I heard about them getting in trouble and getting kicked out of their main locker room and having to use the visitor locker room in practice. I can see why he made that the punishment, because they made their visitor locker room. Yeah, Memphis food is just the best. Memphis food is the best. Okay, y'all, that's a 120. I appreciate everybody jumping. If you're new here, click the subscribe button, hit the like button before you get out of here. I have about 2 more serious things to do before I shut down. Rosemont Horizon, I did play there. I played, Satterfield and Steve Logan. They were fun to play against. Tulane for sure. Rosemont is a dump. Rosemont Horizon is a dump. That's a terrible place. I was so disappointed. Yeah, Mark, I agree. The overseas ones, they're beasts. Okay, y'all, get in here. Listen, all the comments, I enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me, making middays with Marques Maybin fun as always.